Actually, Alan Bryan, this will be a rerun for you because this is kind of inspired by our one-on-one session. What was it? Saturday. Saturday.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So he was asking a question, and what was the question? Just ask us again here, Alan, if you don't mind. You remember what the question was about? How do you talk down homeowners?
Oh yeah, how do you get them to go down in their price if their price is at market the guts way?
Yep. Okay. Good question. And I gave you an explanation, and I want to give the explanation to everyone here. You guys hear me talk about being a full spectrum wholesaler, and I want to explain a little bit what that means. His question is, how do you talk down a homeowner who is overpriced and get them down to a ridiculous amount of 50 cents on the dollar so that you can do an ugly house wholesale deal, so on and so forth. Okay. Well, the answer in short is we don't. Okay. Here, I want to talk about purchase price plus repair costs plus your assignment fee. All right. Your payday. This is the numbers that we calculate together. We add them together to equal what? Does anyone know? Shout it out if you know it. All right. I'm going to calculate.
Allowable offer.
Yep. Right. This is what, yep. This is how I'm going to calculate my maximum allowable offer. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, why is this important for us to understand? Anybody have a comment on that?
Yeah, because you don't want to. You gotta have some type of guideline to go off of. Otherwise, you won't know what to offer them that the end investor will purchase, that the buyer would purchase.
Right. So what if the homeowner is unreasonable? What if he's unreasonable or she's unreasonable in price? In other words, we do the formula, and what are we looking for here, really, honestly? We're looking for a fix and flipper as a traditional ugly house wholesale deal, okay? Ugly house deal, and he's going to be interested in doing this deal all in 70% of ARV, okay? Maybe 75%, okay, of ARV after repair value, okay? How do I figure out when I'm talking to a homeowner and he says, yeah, the house is kind of ugly and it needs this and that done to it. And, that's why I'm selling it, cheaper. Okay. I'm going to do the math here. Okay. What he's asking, purchase price. Okay. Plus repair costs, plus what I need to make in the deal. And that's going to equal my maximum allowable offer. Okay. What if that number is not 70 to 75% of the ARV? What if it's 80%? Well, that sounds like a dead deal, right? Or maybe it's not. Okay. Because there are landlord buyers.
Want me to call them?
Yeah, I was gonna say it could be a buy and hold depending on how excessive the repairs are.
Oh, who's he talking to?
Hey, mute yourself, man. Help us out here. I can't find you because you're on a sharing screen. Landlord buyers buy ugly houses, but not 70 to 75% of ARV. How far will they go? Okay.
What, 85?
Okay. 85. I've seen as far as 90% of ARV. I've seen that. Okay. 85 is more reasonable, I think. You're going to find that more frequently. All right. So landlord buyers buy ugly houses,
Yeah.
sometimes all the way up to,
Huh?
hold on, let me get over here and mute Larry. He's not paying attention to us and he's on the phone. Hold on. All right,
I have,
guys.
I got some flippers that use funding and they can't borrow above 70. Just something to keep in mind.
Okay. How far beyond 70?
70 is it. Otherwise, they're coming out of pocket for the rest if they're using any funding.
Okay. All right.
Also,
So,
as a broker, I've got some lenders that are starting to tighten up because they're worried about what's coming in the market.
okay. All right. All right. Anybody with questions about that? All right. So if I'm talking to the homeowner and I can get the purchase price he's talking about spoken, and I can kind of get an estimate on repair costs, and I can think about what I want to make, then I can come up with my maximum allowable offer over here. All right. Now, if that's somewhere between 0 and 70 or 75%, all right, then I'm probably going to go ahead and contract that deal, right? Would you contract that deal? If you
Yep.
can get it, yeah, I mean, maximum allowable offer is somewhere around 70 to 75% of ARV. Would you do that deal?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. What if it was a little higher than that and it was an ugly house, but all of the purchase price, repair costs, and the assignment, all that was 85% of the ARV? Would you still contract it?
Yep.
Sure. See, and my thought is that a lot of folks in here are talking to homeowners that don't fit this 70% rule. And they also don't fit some of these other rules that we're going to get into, but they do fall into the landlord buyer category. Like a landlord buyer might want that house. Yeah, it's a little more expensive than a fix and flipper would do, but maybe a landlord, see, I will contract that deal anyway. If I can contract it, I will. Okay. So here's another thought. Who buys
Hey,
what type of,
Justin,
yeah.
I'm sorry, before you move on.
Oh, you're
Why would a
fine.
landlord buyer want to pay 85 to 90% ARV for ugly house? What's the benefit for them? Like,
Yeah.
they can't rent it out, they're paying, they only have 10%, 15% equity. Why would they want to do that?
Yeah. That's a good question. So let's see here. If I've got a house that's worth 100,000, okay, and he gets it at all in, meaning he buys it, let's say, and repairs it and pays the wholesaler, me, all of that, and he's still at 85%, right? So he's got 85,000 invested into it. All right. Probably some kind of loan. Okay. Maybe cash. Don't know. All right. Doesn't matter. He's putting in 85,000. He instantly creates for himself what?
Yeah, he
Anybody?
has 15,000 equity, but
Equity.
he has a problem on his hands because it's a ugly house that cannot be rented.
No,
Well, I got
no.
I got a comment on that, Justin.
That's
What
not
Addie is
true.
talking about.
It's an ugly house right now, but by the time he buys it and repairs it and pays for the wholesale assignment fee, all of that, he's going to repair it. He's still only $85,000 into it. It's worth 100. Okay, so now it's a pretty house. He's got 85,000 invested into it. It's a pretty house again. It's worth 100. Okay, and he's going to create cash flow, monthly cash flow. All right. So not a bad investment for a landlord. All right. You can actually get in way more detail about this tonight with Steve. But the fix and flipper guy, okay, he needs it to be at 70% because his hard money lender won't lend him any more money than that. Okay. He's working a different kind of game, a short-term buy and sell. Okay. This guy down here is working a long-term game game of buy and hold. Okay. All right. So it doesn't matter what my homeowner says. I'm not really going to have to beat him up on price and talk him down, tens of thousands of dollars. I mean, I might try. If it doesn't work, that's okay. I will go ahead and contract the deal, because even though it's overpriced for a fix and flipper, it may be just right on target for a landlord. Okay. All right. So that 85,000, okay, includes the purchase price of the house plus all his repair costs, okay, plus my assignment fee. All right. All of that.
Oh, okay. I thought you said 85% or 90% of ARV. I didn't know you meant, so obviously if that 85,000 includes the purchase price, repairs and all that, that's a different ballgame entirely. I thought you
Okay.
meant,
Okay. Great question, Addie. So what happens if you're on the phone with a homeowner and
Mhm.
he has a property that is worth $100,000,
Mhm.
okay, worth $100,000, and it needs $20,000 in repairs, and he's asking $80,000. Okay, is that what you're talking about?
Right.
Right. Is this the landlord buyer territory that I was talking about? Is this the deal? Is this the deal that fits this landlord buyer right here? This deal right here? Yes or no? Y'all tell me.
Yes.
80% of ARV, and that 85% must include his purchase price and his repair costs. Okay, the assignment fee is going to be rolled into the purchase price. Okay, so this is a little bit redundant. So it's got to include his purchase price and repair costs, and he can't be more than 85. Okay, look at this deal, $100,000. It needs 20 in repairs, and he's asking 80. Is that the deal we're talking about for a landlord buyer?
No.
Yep.
The answer is no.
Oh,
Oh, dang. You know what?
That's what I'm
Why?
looking at. Because 80% of 100K is 80,000. Like,
Yeah.
and then it needs 20,000 repairs. Like,
Yeah.
there's no fee for, the
Yeah.
wholesaler, nothing. It's all,
There's no, yeah,
it's
there's
all
no,
wiped out. There's
yeah,
no equity. Right.
no equity left for the buyer. There's no assignment fee left for the wholesaler.
Oh,
This
yeah,
seller
yeah.
wants it all.
Right.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
Mhm.
So this is not the deal we're talking about.
I get it.
Okay. What we're talking about is more like this. Okay. You get it under contract for, let me see here. Value is 100,000. You get it under contract for 65,000.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute, 60,000. Let's do this. Okay. Contract price. It needs 20K in repairs. And you make a 5K assignment fee.
Mhm.
Now he's $85,000 invested, and he has a property worth what? 100K.
100K.
Okay.
Yeah,
Does
this
that make
makes sense.
sense?
Yeah,
That's the deal we're talking about for this landlord buyer. Okay.
exactly.
All right. Why would that deal not work for a fix and flipper? Too expensive.
It's not cheap enough.
It's not cheap enough for that hard money guy. Yeah, exactly. So it's still cheap enough for a landlord, though, if it's in a nice neighborhood. It's a nice little house. Okay. We're not talking about the war zone. None of this shit works in the war zone. Okay. None of these rules apply there. Just FYI. Okay. So landlord buyers or fix and flippers. So I'm not beating up the seller to come down on price just so I can sell it to a fix and flipper, when I can make him happy and I can make me happy and I can do the deal and I can still find a landlord buyer. I'll go ahead and do that. Okay. But I'm not done. I still have other tools in my toolbox here. Okay. One is, what do I do with properties that are more than 85% all in, all the way up to, I said yesterday, 105%, but it could even be more, really, technically. What kind of buyer buys these?
Lease purchase,
Okay, and
owner finance,
yeah, and
Retail.
Retail.
retail too. Yes. So you got three different kinds of buyers. So you could structure this in three different kinds of ways, at least. Right there, we just said them at 85 and above. Okay. So even if the homeowner is asking 100%, even if he's asking 105% of the ARV, all right, what is my buyers again? Let's write it down here. Somebody said it again. What was it? Tenant buyer.
Retail.
A tenant buyer would be one, right? And then a retail buyer would be another one. What is a retail buyer? Somebody tell me.
Full price. Pretty much.
Okay.
We call them a penalty box buyer. They're in the penalty box because they can't get a mortgage right now. So we put them in a penalty box, and we're gonna put a deal together, make it affordable for them, so that a couple of years down the road they can close. Now you got a reason to tune in tonight.
Yeah, there you go. This is going to be a great tee up for what you're doing tonight there, Steve. Okay, so tenant buyer, a retail buyer, or owner seller finance. So which of these tools is my favorite? Well, Justin's favorite is obviously this lease option thing over here, the tenant buyers. You know, I could find a tenant buyer for a property that I have to contract at 85 or 90 or 95 or 100 or 105. Okay. I could find a tenant buyer for. So if I can talk this homeowner into a lease option with me, then I've got a deal. Okay. Over here, what am I talking them into with the landlord buyers and the fix and flippers? What kind of contract is this, guys? What paperwork am I probably going to use? There's a couple options.
purchase and sale,
Purchase and sale, straight purchase and sale agreement. Sure. What else could I use? That's for both the landlord buyer deal that we're talking about or the fix and flipper. We can just straight purchase and sale agreement, right? What else?
You could do
could
an
it be?
option on it.
You could do a straight option on it or a flex or one of those things, Yeah. So real simple, guys, real simple. Tomorrow we're going to talk about paperwork. Okay. And then the session following that, we're going to get into some case study. Okay. So hopefully this all leading up to that will make the case study much more valuable for you. Okay. That's why I'm doing it that way. Landlord buyers, fix and flippers. Yep. That's a straight purchase and sale or an option. Now, what about down here, tenant buyer, retail, or owner finance? Okay, now these documents are going to be pretty different from one another. Okay, that's why I'm not an expert at all three of these. Okay, I'm pretty much an expert at these tenant buyers and this lease option strategy here for this category of property deal. Okay, retail I'm okay with, but not my forte. And then owner seller finance, that's not something I do much of at all personally. Okay. Now you may be just exactly the opposite. Okay. It's all right. All roads lead to Rome here. All right. But I guarantee you, I have these tools in my toolbox. I can monetize a motivated seller lead in any of these price ranges. Okay. So when I said before that one of my students had an aha moment, was like, hey, it's crazy. It just dawned on me that you get deals because you give the homeowner everything they want. Well, yeah, pretty much. Right. Like I don't have to beat them up on price. So when you go at wholesaling like a one-trick pony and you've only thinking lease options, then you're trying to find that one needle in a haystack. Or if you're thinking only ugly house 70%, 75%, okay, then you're stuck there. It doesn't matter what the the situation is, you can offer a solution most of the time, I'll say. All right. But they have to still be motivated enough to do it with you.
That's
All
it.
right. So I got smart in this way just a few years ago when I got so tired of looking for the ugly house that I could get for 50 cents on the dollar. And making the numbers work was a friggin' nightmare. Hard to do. Okay. And I don't know why. Actually, I do know why. All the coaches and gurus talk about doing the uh, ugly house business. Focus on ugly house business. Okay, focus on it. Get your leads going. Driving for dollars. Okay, it's so hard. So hard. It's the hardest way in the world to do it. Okay, it's better to learn a couple, 2 or 3 of these strategies to identify those buyers, the fix and flipper, the landlord, the tenant buyer, for example. Okay, those are the 3 that I'm thinking about in my mind when I'm talking to a homeowner. Which one does this fit? This homeowner, can I match this homeowner up with a fix and flipper? Disqualified. Can I match this person up with a landlord buy and holder? Okay, can I fix this person up with a tenant buyer? Okay, next, click. Okay, I'm going to find me one. Okay, that's how I think through this process. Okay, I don't know if that's right or if that's wrong. That's just what I do. All right, and hopefully, what I shared with you enlightened you a little bit, because I'm afraid that you guys and gals are turning down deals.
Yeah, I can say for a fact on some, I'm kind of kicking myself right now because some last week that I called, I could have probably done the 85 or possibly even 90 ARV and look for a landlord versus a tenant buyer. But
Any questions right now, guys, about any of that stuff? About how to make offers? See, are you leaving money on the table because that doesn't fit your current paradigm of what a deal is? Okay, your current paradigm of what a deal is. Okay. In other words, it fits the criteria of a lease option, or it fits the criteria of an ugly house so superbly. Okay. You're looking for that. Okay. I don't know that that's out there very much. All right. So we talked about this here. Value 100K, 60K contract price, 20K in repairs, 5K assignment fee, 85,000 all in. It's worth 100K. Who is our buyer here? Somebody remind me. Who's the buyer type?
that one's the tenant
Mhm.
buyer.
Nope.
Buy
Nope.
and hold.
Right.
Landlord.
Right. All right. So, all right. That's why we're going back over this a little bit, because I want you to practice a little bit with a few examples, and we'll do this with a few examples just to help you get, a little practice with the numbers and thinking a little bit like this. Okay. So this is a buyer type. So here's the deal. 100K. You were able to get 60K price with the seller. It still needs 20 in repairs. Plus you want to make 5K. Wow, that's a tight deal. It would not be a fix and flipper. You're exactly right. It would be a landlord buy and hold investor. Okay. All right. Let's try another one. All right. Let's try the purchase price. And then we're going to get messy with the numbers. Okay. Value is 100K. Okay. Purchase price here. All right. $50,000. It needs repairs of 20K. You also want to make an assignment fee of 5K. All right. Which puts you all in at 75,000. Value is 100K. What type of buyer am I probably going to be talking to first?
Fix and flip.
Okay, a fix and flipper comes to the table. Who else might be potential buyer for this deal?
Buy and hold.
Exactly. Exactly. Why?
Because it's cheap.
Exactly. It fits his criteria too.
Mm.
Okay, so that's great. Let's do another one. Okay. Value is 100,000. The seller wants 96,000. It needs 2,000 in repairs. Uh-oh. Okay. You'd like to make 10K. That's some tight numbers.
That's retail.
That puts you at 108K. Fair market value
Lease
right
option.
now is 100K. Okay. What are my options here? What is the buyer I'm probably going to be looking for when I go ahead and contract this deal? Somebody
That's a
said it.
lease option.
Yeah, lease option.
Yeah, a tenant buyer.
Yeah.
What else?
Would that be
Anything else?
a landlord buyer? Also?
Not going to be a landlord
No.
buyer on this one, probably. Not
Seller.
unless it's cash flowing like a mug.
Seller finance, maybe?
Possible seller finance. Okay. What about a retail buyer?
Retail buyer.
Would a retail
Mhm.
buyer still be a
Retail buyer.
potential candidate here?
Yeah.
Okay.
That one's tough. Retail buyer likes to walk into a deal like that, maybe with little bit of equity, but if they're seller finance, then it's definitely a retail buyer.
Yeah, retail, it would be somebody that's non-FHA and they probably have some contingencies on repairs and maybe a repair cost reduction and so on and so forth. But yeah, it's possible. Tenant buyer is what I'd go for because that's to me, the road of least resistance here for me is to pitch a lease option. Why? Because I like it. I'm good at it. It worked for me. I don't need to be an expert at all these things. I just need to know how to do one. Okay. I'm going to get better though. I promise you that. All right. I'm
I
going to get
love
better.
these.
All right. Let's
Hey,
talk about it. Let's talk about
Hey,
another
Joe.
one. Go ahead. Yeah.
I'm sorry. So yeah, so you have all these different options, right? You're like, okay, I got this property and you have all these options. Now you have to deal with the seller and like, how do you navigate like, okay, you think you have a tenant buyer, you think you can do seller financing or whatever. Now, how do you navigate that with a seller, giving them all these different options at different times? Where they like look at you like, what's up with this guy,
Oh,
You know what I
no.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
are you serious? You're coming with this and that and whatever.
Yeah.
How do you
Yeah.
walk with that?
Yeah, I'm not doing it that way. It seems like I'm doing it that way, but I'm not. Okay. And here's why. They always want cash. Remember I've said that, right? They always want cash. So I'm first going to see if I'm going to ask them, hey, what do you want in purchase price wise? And what do you think the property's worth? How did you arrive at those numbers? What kind of repairs does it need? Okay. Do you have an estimate of what you think that may cost? Can you tell me about the big five? Okay. What's the roof and the foundation, the HVAC good? So real quick, I'm going to get some numbers. All right. I know this now. Enough information to calculate my maximum allowable offer based on what he would accept, what he said he would take. This is what I need. This is what I want. Okay. Wonderful. He disqualifies himself on the fix and flipper buyer right away. He disqualifies himself on the landlord buyer right away. Mr. Homeowner, I'd love to offer you cash. Unfortunately, as an investor, I'm not going to be able to pay that much. So let's call that over and done. Take it off the table. Before I go, real quick, if I were to not beat you up on price, if I were to get the property out of your life, if I were to make all your headaches go away, if I were to maintain the property and take care of the maintenance and repairs, can we do something creative for the next 18 months? And I make payments to you. If he says yes, I can either do a seller finance or I can do a lease option, whichever he's comfortable with. Okay, that's easy, guys, right? It's not like, hey, here's my menu, sir. Which one do you want today? It's not like that, okay? Because I know which one he wants. He wants that damn cash. So I'm going to have to disqualify him on the, first of all, he's asking too much for a fix and flipper, okay? He's asking way too much for a fix and flipper. Let's go back and look real quick. So I do the numbers in my head while we're on the phone. Well, he's not going to work for a fix and flipper. He's not cheap enough. Well, is he cheap enough for a landlord? Oh my gosh, no, he's not. Then I have to default to this, right? Okay, so I'm defaulting to tenant buyer now. So let's take that cash offer off the table. That's not going to fit me. But real quick before I go, if I were able, okay, let's do the example here. Mr. Homeowner, if I were able to not beat you up on price, okay, would you do something creative with me for 24 months? I'll make payments to you. I'll guarantee the maintenance on the home. Is this something we can talk about? Sure. If it is, guess who's got a deal? Me. On a crappy deal that 9 out of 10 wholesalers would have thrown away. Okay. So it's like a stair step for me. I'm talking to the homeowner. In the qualification section of the conversation, I find out about money. What do they want? Now, I am smart enough to know that if the house is worth 100,000 and the guy is asking 90, I'm not going to get him to come down to 50 for me today. Probably not that lucky of a day for me. Okay. So I already know he's disqualifying himself off of this fix and flipper gig, off of this landlord buyer gig. So now I'm going to default to a creative solution that will still work for me, but will also be a solution for him. Does that make sense, guys and gals?
Yeah,
That's
I
so
hear you.
true. And what mama don't know won't hurt
There
her.
you go.
Remember that from Waterboy? He said, I got a tattoo of Roy Orbison on my ass. What mama don't know won't hurt.
Here we go.
Yep. Downhill from here.
Rabbit hole. It's been we've actually been really doing really well, Justin. It's been a while since we've gone down a rabbit hole. It's been at least a couple weeks.
Oh my gosh. I love you all. You guys make my day every day. Hey, go be a full spectrum wholesaler. Go be a full spectrum wholesaler. Y'all know what I mean when I say that now? Full spectrum, meaning it doesn't matter what this homeowner wants. I've got ways to monetize these deals. Okay. All right. So
yeah,
stop passing up deals, guys, looking for a needle in a haystack. Anybody here think that they got something out of today? Hopefully give me a little feedback.
No more questions.